Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Dana Trupiana and I cover infamous gangsters every week in a true crime-like format. So now, Magaddino is officially the boss of the Buffalo family, and he goes on to form a partnership with Canada's Rocco Pieri in an alcohol smuggling operation. His relationship with Pieri was something that really helped him in the fight to import alcohol into America during Prohibition. On January 1st, 1924, Joseph DiCarlo attacked and tried to kill Busy Joe Pattiucci. Joseph DiCarlo was arrested and he was given a 6-year prison sentence for witness intimidation in the attempted kidnapping of a witness with force of arms. So it's a whole big situation, and this is Joseph DiCarlo, Giuseppe DiCarlo's son, the one that wanted to take on the position of boss of the family. He felt like it was his birthright to take over as boss of the family. Now he's all wrapped up in this Busy Joe Pattiucci murder. On December 22nd, 1927, one of the leaders of Buffalo's underworld, Filippo Mazzara, would be shot to death in a borrowed automobile. Joseph D. Benedetto is Mazzaria's heir apparent, and he becomes the new boss in place of Filippo Mazzara. Now, Mazzara, he's another man from Castellamare del Golfo, so you know he's boys with Magaddino. Like, this is a good thing for Magaddino. But now, Mazzara has been killed. And now we have Joseph D. Benedetto that's gonna take that spot that Mazzara's death opened up. Now, remember Joe DiCarlo had been arrested? He was paroled in October of 1928, and he immediately gets right back to it. He re-enters the Buffalo Rackets, and he forms the DiCarlo gang. So there's this constant sense of underlying tension, iciness, and just all-around unfavorability between the DiCarlo gang and the Magaddino operation, which the Magaddino operation is the official mafia in Buffalo and Niagara Falls. But the DiCarlo gang does not see it that way. And that's why you'll hear DiCarlo saying things like, oh, well, eventually you'll know that DiCarlo still runs this city. So Magaddino, he sees this, he gets the heads up, yes, we want you to be our boss of bosses in Buffalo. That's all you, bro. The higher-ups, they throw their full support behind Magaddino. And when they do that, Magaddino comes out and he's like, all right, listen, I love my second in command, but it's not worth it. I'm gonna take him out and I'm gonna put Joseph DiCarlo in as my second in command. And that does a lot. Putting DiCarlo in as the number 2 in the Buffalo family, it breaks a lot of the tension that's going on. It placates his followers, it makes everybody stop thinking, because they're about to hit the mattresses, they're about to go to war, so that Joseph DiCarlo can be put in as the top person in Buffalo. He puts Joseph DiCarlo in as number 2, and the war that was just about to go off, it was seconds away from popping off, it goes away. And now Magaddino and Joseph DiCarlo are able to run Buffalo together. So leading up to when this officially pops off, Giuseppe Joe the Boss Masseria, he is the capo di tutti capi in New York City, which that means like he's the boss of everywhere. He's the boss of the mafia in America. And he decided in 1930 that Stefano Magaddino and a lot of other Castellamare mafia leaders in the United States were inciting rebellion against his administration, and he's not having it. But the Castellamare clan, this consists of some seriously powerful hitters as well. You've got Salvatore Maranzano, Stefano Magaddino, Gaspar Milazzo, Joseph Aiello. Wherever the Castellamare were, there is also enemies of Joe the Boss Masseria. So what is the logical first step for Joe the Boss Masseria? He puts out a summons, and Stefano Magaddino is summoned to appear before him in New York City. And Magaddino did not heed that summon. Masseria sentenced him and all the other Castellamare mafiosi to death. Once that kill order was put in place, everything just kind of ramps up. One more thing would happen before war would officially be announced. And that one thing that would happen all has to do with Milazzo. Gaspar Milazzo is leading the Detroit Mafia right now. And Masseria encouraged Chester Lemaire to eliminate Detroit's conservative mafia leadership and take control of Detroit, because he hates Gaspar Milazzo, so obviously he's gonna try to get somebody else to take Milazzo's spot. Masseria approached Chester Lemaire and he tells him, like, yo, you gotta take out the leadership in Detroit. But why did he do that? He's this all-powerful mafioso, he's the capo di tutti capi in New York City. Why couldn't he just put a hit out on Milazzo and have one of his own people do the job? Why does he have to reach out to Chester Lemaire and try to get him to take out Milazzo for him? Well, a lot like the situation with Stefano Magaddino, Joe the Boss Masseria had put out an order for Gaspar Milazzo to come and appear before him in New York City, but exactly like Stefano Magaddino, Gaspar Milazzo outright refused and did not show up. We all know who Al Capone was, but Capone was markedly not from Sicily. He was from Naples. One of Luciano's main gripes with Masseria was how much of a mustache Pete he was, how unwilling he was to work with anybody from anywhere other than his neat little circle in Sicily. So why would Joe the Boss Masseria choose to throw his support behind Capone, who's not Sicilian? It's because he hated the Castellamarese people so much. So Joe the Boss Masseria, he reaches out to Gaspar Milazzo and he's like, hey, I don't like Aiello. I can stand you. Here's the deal. I want to be friends. You can have an alliance with the Capo dei Tutti Capi of New York City. We can form an empire together. All you have to do is kill your boy Joseph Aiello. Take out Aiello and we can be biffles, and if you refuse, you die. He adamantly refused Joe the Boss Masseria's order, and he refused to go appear before him. He refused to carry out the hit that he was ordered to carry out, and that really offended Joe the Boss Masseria. Masseria has officially been named the Capo dei Tutti Capi. Masseria, he is heated, and he's out for blood. The leaders of New York, Philly, and Buffalo are all behind Aiello in Chicago and Maranzano in New York City. And Masseria is behind Capone in Chicago. He finds someone else in Milazzo City, Chester Lemaire, that wanted the title of boss of the Detroit family. So Masseria starts all out hatching plans to assassinate both Gaspar Milazzo and Stefano Magaddino. On May 31st, 1930, Gaspar the Peacemaker Milazzo and Sam Sassa Perino, Milazzo's right-hand man and driver, attended a meeting at the Verner Highway Fish Market in Detroit. And they attend this meeting in place of Angelo Mele and his associates, who had originally been asked to come and attend this meeting. Now, they're sitting down to eat their lunch, they're minding their business, they're waiting for Lemaire to come. Two gunmen leaped out and unleashed a barrage of shotgun blasts against Milazzo and Perino. The blasts would hit Milazzo in the head and kill him instantly. Sam Perino was hit in the chest, abdomen, and arm, and although he survived, he would die shortly after. Gaspar Milazzo was a very low-key and reserved mafia leader that was highly respected by pretty much everybody in the mafia. He died at the age of 43 years old with only 3 arrests under his belt and 0 convictions. The entire mafia reacted with shock and outrage that they were determined to eliminate Lemaire and anybody who liked Lemaire. Lemaire himself would be betrayed and murdered by his own men less than a year after Gaspar Milazzo's murder. And here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially in the Castellamarese War. Now, after Masseria's death, Salvatore Maranzano, who is besties with Stefano Magaddino, declared himself as the Capo dei Tutti Capi. As soon as he takes control, he puts in place the 5 families, and he names himself the boss of bosses and the boss of one of those 5 families. He names Stefano Magaddino's cousin, Joseph Bonanno, as the underboss, and he names Stefano Magaddino himself as the new consigliere. Alright guys, so now that we've gotten to the death of Joe the Boss Masseria, I feel like this is a good place to end the episode. We got through a ton of information, and I don't want you guys to lose interest because this whole time period is so jam-packed with crazy shit going on in the mafia as well as Stefano Magaddino's family and life that I still have a ton left to go over, and there's definitely going to be another part, so I want to end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, follow, do all the things, and I'll see you next week for part 5 of Stefano Magaddino. Bye!